Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is your first time here. If this is your first time here and you enjoy the video, you like what you see, hit comment, like, subscribe, turn on your notifications, follow me on Patreon, tip me on Venmo, go buy 7 wreaths. My wreaths are $75 now for all my Deco Mesh wreaths and $60 for my grapevines. $10 shipping, I want them out the house. So it's a new year, but it's always good to brush up on our basics. So I want to make a series of bow videos just on the bows that I use. I made these already, but why not? I have my Easy Bow Maker, my Deluxe Easy Bow Maker. This is the one I got from Goodwill. I have a blue one that I paid like $20 for, and this is the one I got for like $1.99. This one is extremely stiff, but sometimes that's good. You have your 2 pegs in the middle here for your ribbons. This one's for smaller bows, like if you're making like a hair bow and you don't want a bow for your hair. I don't know, as opposed to a bow for your rabbit. And you don't want to be doing it in between these. You use the smaller one. This is your spool holder. I have some ribbon. Also have a pair of fabric scissors. These are from Westcott. I got them at Walmart. They're like $15. They're really good. I have a hard time with finding scissors that I like that cut the fabric of the ribbon but can also handle the wire and the ribbon. So these are the ones I use. Yeah, so let's get started. I also have a pipe cleaner somewhere behind me. Somewhere nearby, but not too far away. Here it is. I use pipe cleaners most of the time. If I need to, I will use a zip tie, but that's usually when I'm making big bows. This is not going to be too big of a bow, even though this is pretty thick ribbon. This is from Expressions. I probably got it from Craft Outlet, I'm assuming. Alright, the first bow I'm going to make, the only bow I'm going to make today, is the floral bow. This is the bow that, I think they call it the floral bow in the book that comes with the bow maker. I haven't seen the book that comes with the bow maker in 20 some odd years. So, yeah. This is your standard, like, Christmas wreath bow. Just a big round bow, as big as you want it to be, and all the loops are the same length. And yeah, it's a bow, not that exciting, but if you want like a very traditional bow, like this one right here, this is what we're doing. So your tails, they're whatever size you want them to be. I'm gonna go for like a 10-inch bow. So that means my loops are gonna be 5. So let's do like an 8. Let's do a 10-inch tail. So I'm going to measure from, here's my 8, I'm going to measure all the way over to the 2, because 8 plus 2 equals 10. And I'm going to pinch right here. And slide that in. This is going to come down as our tail. And every time we go through here, we're going to want to twist. So I'm going to twist towards me. There's a proper way to do this with the twisting where you twist towards you and the next one you twist away from you. I'm going to try that. I never am able to keep it straight in my head, but we'll see. So it's twisted, so I'm looking at the wrong side. I'm going to pull out some. I thought there was a split in the ribbon, y'all. We were about to have a completely different video. I'm going to pull this over to the 5, which you'll be able to see better when it's over here, but right there, see, it's on the 5. Right there. Trust me. Go to the 5. And instead of pinching, I just kind of push this down, get everything lined up, and then scrunch down like this, and make sure I'm getting that pretty flat. Okay? Now, on this side we turn towards us, so now this time we're going to turn away from us. I actually want to see if I can remember to do this every time, if this is going to make a rounder bow or it's just going to tangle up my ribbon. Okay, so now we're going back to this 5 over here. I'm going to put this in, get it to the 5, see there's the 5 right there, lined up nice and neat. Push this down and over like that. Alright, now towards me. Those are our first 2 loops. Straighten this out. I'm going to get this in, measure over to 5. Now this would, away from me? Is that right? Okay, we'll see. I like to put this in before, not really, I mean I'm not going to like put this in and then have to pull, like I like to get it close, like I know it's going to be somewhere around here. So I'll put it in, bring it down, like if I'm measuring this, I'm not going to put it right here if I'm measuring way over here and then I have to put it down and then pull it all the way over. It doesn't make sense to do that. So I know approximately, hey, that's 5.5. So now I'm going to pull it back, push it down. This one comes towards me. And honestly, y'all, I've made me, there's 75 wreaths in my house right now. I've probably sold 100 on Etsy. So between 100 and 300 bows I've made without twisting it one way and then the other. I don't know that it matters. If it's too much for you, don't worry about it. Alright, so that is 2 loops on this side, 2 loops on this side. Put this in, and if you want to measure, I usually put my hand right here just to get it where it needs to be. I mean, if you go between like, hey, this side has a 5-inch loop and this side has a 5.25-inch loop, do not stress. No one's going to notice except for you. If it's a 5-inch and a 6-inch loop, they might notice. So, away from me. I think all this is doing is twisting up my ribbon and aggravating me. So, there's my 5. Pushing it down. Pulling it over some because it was a little long. Okay. Twisting towards me. That was our, what was our, we had 3 on each side. Five inches. And then away from me? I mean, y'all can see, this is not supposed to be happening, so I don't know why they tell you to do this. But, unless this bow comes out amazing, this is not something I will be repeating. Okay. Alright, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4 on this side, 4 on this side. I'm going to do 1 on each side again, and then we'll finish this off. And it should give us, because this is a pretty small bow, a 10-inch bow is not that big, and 5 loops on each side should give us something pretty round. So towards me. Measure it out to the 5, away from me. That's a, oh. Look at that. That's not supposed to be like that. But for the sake of experimentation, let's just see where it gets us. This goes away from me. Move that around. Put it through. And this is the one we don't have to, this is our last pass through. We don't have to twist this. That one, what is it? This one? One of these is a little long. There we go. Alright. Now I'm going to remove that, and we measured 10 inches. So your measurements are longer on this side. So from the center, we're going to go out to 10 because that's where we measured, and that's where we're cutting. I always try to wrap these up as soon as I'm done with them, but it doesn't always happen. But if you do wrap them up when you're done, you know, it's less work for you when you're cleaning up later, if cleaning up is something you do. And here's the pin I took out. Just going to stick that back in there. I'm going to try to stick that back in there. Alright, so this is what we have. It's not very pretty. This is our tail. So we're going to bring this down. You can tie this off right away and then fluff it. I like to give it, I like to put everything where I want it to go first, so I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning. Pull one down, one up, leave one coming straight out, and then one down, and one up. Over here, do the same thing. Down, up, leave this one coming out, down, and up. And these, you don't, it doesn't matter which, you know, which one you pull down or which one, you just want to even everything out. So if you pull two down on this side, pull down two down on this side. So there's our bow. This is my pipe cleaner. I'm hoping that it does not break. It probably won't because I don't have the strength in my hands to pull as tight as I used to. So I make a little U like this, like a little hairpin, like that. And this one is very tight. This bow maker is very tight, which I like, but then also I don't because it's hard to get stuff out of here. So I'll kind of push those open a little bit because mine are glued in. And this is not as difficult as it looks, as I'm making it look, because my hands are, y'all know I have hand problems, and they are very problematic today. Okay, so I'm going to pick this up. Here's my stack. Slip that right through there. Okay. And I'm going to pull it down. Cross it over in the back. I always like to try to make sure that this is where it's supposed to be because that one always gets a little messed up. Cross it over. Get it as tight as it'll go, and then hold your hand, leave your hands where they are, and then twist the bow 3-4 times. Don't twist too much because the wire will break, but you want it tight. Okay. And like, you can make bows by hand. You don't need a special tool to do it. I am at this point in my life, I went to physical therapy. Y'all know I went to physical therapy for a while for my back, and I went to occupational therapy for my hands. And one of the things my therapist told me, my occupational therapist, was accept the help that you need. Like I was talking about, oh, like I couldn't get this jar open, and she gave me one of the, you know, like the little grippy jar opener things. You know, I was like, you know, my hands, you know, I don't have the grip strength to open the jar. And she's like, she gave it to me. And she's like, you need to, if there's a way to make something easier for you, then you need to just use it. And it's not that I was like, oh no, I'm not using that. It's just I didn't have one. And once she said that, I was like, that's right. You know, there's lots of things that could make my life easier. I could make this bow by hand. Excuse me. I know how to make this bow by hand. 10 years ago, I could have made this bow perfectly by hand, but I don't have the strength in my hands anymore. So the bow maker is just a tool to make your life easier and more consistent. Because I guarantee if I made this bow again, I would use the same amount of, the same yardage of ribbon. So, I mean, you kind of can calculate your costs if you're into that. Or if, you know, you just get tired of the resale of your house and you say everything's $75 and call it a day. Alright, so here's my bow. And I am going to get in the middle. Under here, let me show you what I'm doing under here. I'm just kind of twisting, making sure everything is straight, putting these things where I want them to go, because it's your bow, you're in charge. Also, it's a non-sentient piece of ribbon, so, you know, make it do what you want. Like, see this? See how this This is like twisted under. I want that to be like that. That's hard to explain. Like, see, that's twisted this way, and this is just fussiness for the sake of showing you how to get this perfect. If you absolutely need to have a perfect bow, which I understand. Or if you're like, why doesn't my bow look the way it should? Check that. It might be one of those things, one of those little things that probably doesn't matter, that probably isn't making your bow look weird, but it doesn't hurt to fix everything you can fix. Alright, so those are all kind of turned the right way. Tails are down, and now I'm just going to move everything nice and big. One of these, like this is our middle right here. One of these is going to inevitably kind of come to the middle to fill up that center point. Sometimes I will put an extra loop in the middle to cover that, but then you end up with more tails, or you end up with both tails on the other side. It just depends on what kind of bow I'm making. You just need to fiddle with it. And I usually, when I'm making a wreath, I will make the bow, do this a little bit, not this much. Like I'll get it shaped, but I won't like fluff it and make it perfect. And then for the video, when it goes on the wreath, I'll just put it on the wreath as it is, fluff it for the pictures, get it all nice so I can list it on Etsy when I was still selling on Etsy, when I was still listing wreaths on Etsy. And then I don't touch the bow again until it gets shipped out of the house. So there we go. That is a nice round bow. Kind of just your standard. There's nothing special about it. You don't have to use all the same ribbon. And you could definitely make this bow going down in size with the loops. But this is just what I wanted to start off with here. You know, just a very detailed video on how to make the round floral bow. Yeah, I mean that is a bow you see on the Christmas wreath at Walmart, which you should not buy because my wreaths are only $75 right now. So, you know, and they're one of a kind. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And it should be. I'm gonna just kind of, you know, it's like if I hold it from here to here, it's about 10 inches. I can see over there. And then for our tails, you can cut these at an angle. I dovetail them most of the time, and that's just folding your right sides together and cutting down from the fold to the tip. Okay? And I usually try to do about a 45, just because your fabric, so down to the tip, about a 45, your fabric is less prone to fraying if it's on the 45, just because of the weft and the weave of the ribbon, if you're using a woven ribbon. So yeah, that's it. And I'm glad I used this ribbon because I don't like, I thought this was white, but it's like, it's cream on the burlappy color, and it just looked yellow. So now I have a bow to put on something. I don't know what, but it's a nice round bow. So yeah, that's it. That's easy. Hopefully your hands work better than mine. So yeah, all my links are linked down below. And I'll be back over the next couple of weeks just making some bows, trying to figure out what I'm doing with my life, trying to figure out what's going on, and yeah, so I will see you probably every Wednesday for my regularly scheduled time, and then, you know, I'll throw these up every once in a while. So thanks for watching, and I will see you guys later. All my links are down below. Bye.